Multiparadigm Data Science with the Wolfram language. Section 5, Getting the Message Across. Once we have put together a report or a computational essay outlining the results of our analysis, it's time to share it with the audience. And the easiest way to communicate the results is to publish it on the web. Wolfram notebooks can be easily shared. This is how we could do it from the desktop product using the menu. Once published, we can either copy and share the link or visit the link to check if the published version appears as expected. We can also share the cloud notebooks themselves from the menu here. Our audience can either simply read the results or, better still, interact with the notebook, make their own copy and edit it in the cloud itself, or download for further work. In the spirit of automating the multi-paradigm workflow, we can incorporate the step of publishing the results at the end of the workflow using the function CloudPublish. By default, it makes a public copy of the notebook for all to see with autocopy set to true to allow the readers to copy and edit their own copies. This access can be restricted by setting the permissions as well as other options for CloudPublish. Another way to put content on the web is to deploy it to the Wolfram Cloud using CloudDeploy. With CloudDeploy, you can deploy a single expression. It may be a simple static expression, or it can be a complicated interactive content like a manipulate. This manipulate shows the population by country for each continent chosen from the drop-down. It can be directly deployed to the cloud with the interactivity of the content preserved just fine. Beyond an expression or an interactive piece, we can deploy entire notebooks to the cloud. Finally, if we have our custom website and would like to add some of the computational results from our analysis to this website, we could deploy cloud objects and incorporate them in the website or web product using embed code. This is a timeline plot of the notable artworks of Monet. And here is an example of a very simple web page, which is right now pretty uninteresting. But we can use embed code and add our timeline plot to the page as a deployed cloud object. By default, a cloud object is private and cannot be accessed by other users. To share it with others, we have to set the permissions to public or to specific users. Let's just adjust the width here and reload our page to see the new content. So far, we've looked at passive content, which does not require any input from the user. However, if we would like to share the end results of our workflow in an interactive fashion, we could create a simple microsite that does accept input from the user. The form is the building block for creating a microsite. It has three main parts. It has the form object, which makes the HTML form. It has the input fields and other specifications. Then there is a pure function that specifies what to do with the input. And finally, there's a return type, which is optional, but it specifies how the result after the pure function is evaluated is returned back to the user. Here is a simple form. This is the form object here showing that it accepts only one string input. This is the pure function, which apparently shows the image of Yoda and adds the text, "May the force be with you," to the input string provided. It returns the result as a PNG image. This is a slightly more complex form that accomplishes a lot in a few lines of code. It leverages the powerful built-in image processing functions to create an Instagram-like image filtering app. It accepts as input an image and the choice of a filter. Then it applies the filter chosen to the image and returns the result. There's more about the functionality for generating forms and web pages in this guide page here on creating forms and apps. The tutorial Advanced Web Form Creation provides additional resources for the creation of more advanced web forms. In summary, we looked at Cloud Publish as the easiest way to share our work. Cloud Deploy allows more custom options to deploy objects and expressions to the cloud and use them as well. Finally, we looked at Form Function and Form Page, both functions to create simple interactive microsites. This brings us to the end of the stage Communicate in a multi-paradigm project workflow. We hope you will be able to use one of the many options we discussed to communicate the results of your analysis and share it with the rest of the world.